Welcome to Everything Life and Real Estate. Let's get started with our hosts, Linda McKissack and Dana Gentry.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Everything Life and Real Estate. I'm Linda McKissack.
And I'm Dana Gentry.
Okay, you were right. The Chicago people were amazing.
I was going to ask you. Aww.
They are the best. I want to go back there every week.
Me
to hang.
too. I know. So it went well?
Yes, it went extremely well. It was great. The people were amazing.
Wasn't that room really cool? Because it's like you feel like you're outside, but you're not outside.
Oh, wait. I wasn't in that room.
Oh, I thought you were in the last room.
No, I was in the stadium room. So it was like stadium seating.
Oh.
It was like a big, huge classroom.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was really awesome.
Did you have a good turnout?
Oh, yeah, it was totally full. Not a single person left.
Yay!
Which I said was very encouraging because our talk was on wealth building and you were made for more and how to really get inspired about doing more and being more and having more. Because I feel like we've got a generation of where people are trying to make that seem bad.
Yeah.
And so I was just giving them all the reasons why it's not bad.
Oh,
it's bad if you don't, and I told them about, really trying to achieve every day is more about becoming who you're supposed to become.
Yeah.
And so the less you try to do that, the less you're going to become who you're actually here to become. So it was really good.
And then I'm going to have to tell Pete, we'll have to propose that next year we go together.
Yes.
And
that'd be great.
Something together. Because several of them were like, are you coming back for Linda? Is Linda coming when you're here? I was like, no.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, they loved you. They thought you were amazing. So yeah, it was fun. That was a great group. And it's always fun to have people who really are hungry to learn what you're there to teach.
Yeah.
And I really saw an uptick in people that were interested in, having more in their life and building a bigger life and wealth building.
Yeah.
That they were interested in the topic of wealth building. And I think sometimes agents aren't as interested in that as they should be. So it was good.
I think now that we are having like a little bit of a downturn in the market, it makes people think about it more.
Yeah. They start thinking, gosh, do I have to do this forever?
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Am I going to do this forever?
We were on our girls trip, in Anguilla, and we were kind of talking about that a little bit. And it was funny because we were just like, nobody wants to do like that grind when they're in their 70s, but you see agents doing it all the time.
Yeah. Well, Jean was telling me a story. Her and I were in San Diego last week, and she said she has a friend that's like 78. And she had retired a few years before and literally ran out of money. She had to go back to selling houses at 78 years old.
Wow. Well, honestly, it's just so much more expensive to live now. I mean, like the more you need more money, I feel like now than you did 20 years ago. Holy higher.
So true. So I'm excited about our topic today. You and I talked about, I guess this came as a request from some of our listeners.
It was actually on my girls' trip. Robin and somebody else were like, have you all done an episode on ADD? Like, we need an episode on ADHD, which Linda, I laughed so hard because when you texted me this morning and said ADD tips, I was like, add tips. What is she talking about? And then you capitalize it. And I was like, wait, maybe I have it because I can't even read a text.
Yes, we all do. I think entrepreneurs have it. Yeah. People that gravitate to sales or entrepreneurs typically are people who have it.
Yeah.
I bet if you poll the population, that category of career would have it more than anybody else.
Yep, I totally agree. Well, because you're pulled in a million different directions and you're always like, what do I do? Let me do this. Now I need to switch to this. It's like business whiplash.
Yeah. And I've been doing a lot of reading and studying on this anyway. And what's interesting is how many of the habits that I have actually taken on myself, when I actually do the research, it's what they recommend you do. But I somehow found them by accident.
Yeah, love that.
Or morphed into living my life in that way because I needed to survive, right?
Yeah.
So one of the biggest things that I've learned recently is, and I don't know why I forgot this, but people who have ADD have a lower level of dopamine. And dopamine does quite a few things. It actually helps us pay attention, helps us not to procrastinate. So dopamine, it plays a critical role if you have ADD. So if somebody's really, really struggling, like I think I told you this, I was going through this period where I felt like I was just wasting all my time. I couldn't get focused on what I need to get focused on.
Yeah.
But what I realized was I wasn't, because I'd fallen in February, I wasn't getting the dopamine hits.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
There were no dopamine hits. Maybe a little bit when I would work out with my trainer, but no cardio.
Yeah, because you really weren't doing it after the fall.
No, for about 8 weeks, I couldn't. So one thing to look at is, are you getting dopamine? If you have ADD, you need dopamine, and you need to do things because it plays a critical role in the attention, you being able to pay attention, into motivation, into reward processing. And people with ADD need rewards because that's what drives us, right?
Yeah.
And so I think if you are struggling, that would be the first place that I would look. And there's, quite a few areas too that you can get dopamine. One is actually a cold plunge. It's not even exercise, cold plunge. The other one is exercise, of course. Music is one.
Oh yeah.
So there's lots of different ways to get dopamine. Let's see. Let me think. Music, any kind of movement gets it. High protein was something that came up because I've been doing YouTube videos and Chat GPT all around it because I needed it for myself.
Yeah.
And I was just looking at the different ways. And had I realized this while I wasn't able to work out, I could have used some of these other modalities to actually get the dopamine that I needed.
Yeah. Is there a way to know if you have low dopamine? I don't even know.
I think your signs would be low motivation, having problem paying attention and focusing. I think it's all the normal signs of an ADD person, but they would be amplified.
Oh yeah.
You would be, if you had enough dopamine, you'd probably be controlling them better.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that would be a sign of low dopamine.
Yeah.
But I think there might be a test. I don't know what that is. I'll have to look into that and see, but I think there's actually a test that will test it. But I think the main thing is just look for the signs. If your attention deficit seems worse, you're probably not getting enough dopamine.
I bet so many people don't know that. I mean, I really feel like that could be a big thing.
I don't know about if this is you or not, but I always feel like I'm always behind with ADD. I feel like and when I looked into kind of thinking through some of the habits that I haven't put in place to help with ADD, the main ones I haven't put in place is the planning. And remember, we always say this about John, planning and prep and
the bucket,
reflection. Honestly, they came up as top ideas and they're not something I use.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I always feel like I'm behind, because I don't take that extra little bit of time plan. And it says, take your day and go ahead first thing in the morning, dump out everything you need to do, which I do make the list quite a bit.
Yeah.
But the second thing is to take it and make it smaller. Like if I only got these 2 things done, if I got these 3 things done, that would be a great day. So I think those pieces would keep someone from feeling like they're always behind.
Well, yes, I totally agree with that. And I think we all feel like that too. I think ADD amplifies that also, because you just feel like, gosh, you can't get everything done that you need to get done. But I don't remember who taught us this, but somebody said that's the difference between making like a to-do list and a success list. So like the main things that you need, like the 2 or 3 things that if you get them done today will be a success, not just like the 50,000 things that you need to get done. But that has helped me a ton because, not being a great preparer over the last couple of years, I've really worked on that. And actually today's a good example of that. For this year, I set quarterly investor meetings on Zoom. Like the dates are planned for the whole entire year. I have them today for my offices this afternoon. And before I would, just always felt like I was trying to catch up and not really sure what, like some things we needed to talk about. But anyway, so for this year, I preset the dates, set agendas. Like I have a nice agenda with a file folder and I upload everything in there and send it to them right when the meeting starts. And this morning I was going over it to prepare early because I knew I had back to back. And I was just thinking to myself, I feel so much better about these this year than I ever have in the past because I wasn't prepared like I am prepared now.
Well, and that comes under the rule that honestly, structure is good for an ADD person, which we hate structure, right? But left on our own, we actually don't get certain things accomplished.
Yeah.
So when you have a structure that you can drop something into, that works so well.
Yep. So
knowing that in advance that these are going to happen, it actually helps the ADD brain to know that you have that structure.
Yeah, totally.
I think the other thing too that I struggle with is if it's so big, one of the things that's really helped me, no matter what the thing is, if I'm struggling, I have this saying, if I was going to do it, I would have already.
Yeah.
So if the task is big and I'm not doing it, how do you break it down into, okay, I'll just do this for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Or I'll just do these 3 things. Take it and make it very, very small instead of looking at the whole picture of what you got to accomplish.
Yeah, I love that. I remember some things too. I don't know if you're going to talk about this, Linda, but that you used to have like those organized folders, and like there were some things that you got that like helped, because I think I heard those too. Like maybe last year it was.
Well, one of my biggest issues is too much paper. So I think I said this before on the podcast. One simple thing that I heard someone say that really helped is a box,
Yeah.
pretty box, bucket, or whatever basket that you just throw all the stacks of paper in.
Yeah.
But I still spend so much time looking for things that I still struggle. So the latest thing that's helped is these file folders that have every single month of the year. So like, let's say, for example, June had attached to the back of it the PowerPoint and my notes from speaking in Chicago yesterday.
Oh yeah, I love it.
And anything, so I have a folder, anything that's coming up in June, I don't have to think about it now and just stick it in that folder.
Yeah.
And when it's time to prepare, I can pull that folder out. And then the second thing is these folders that have projects, because I have a million projects.
Yeah.
And so the folders say project at the top, you write the name on it, and then you can write action items, you can write different things on the folder. To me, that helps because I'm always looking for things. I spend so much time, where is this? And looking, I waste so much time looking for stuff.
I do.
Jimmy said one day, he said, you are so lucky because I can find things that are missing. I said, no, I'm not lucky. I'm just really good at searching because I've done so much of it.
My problem is the notebooks. Like I have
Oh God.
books, and then I'll be like, where's that one thing? Which notebook is that it? And then I'm like flipping back through 10 different notebooks trying to find that one thing. And I do good when I type it all, but I retain better when I write.
Yeah.
So
I tell you, something we just looked, Gene and I watched last week, which I had seen before. What's the guy that does the stoic stuff? Ryan.
Oh, Ryan Holiday.
Okay. He has a great YouTube video about how when he reads all those books, how he takes notes. And this is also the way John Maxwell used to write books, is he has categories.
Yeah.
So what you do is take that information from the book or maybe from your notes, make a index card.
Yeah.
Put a title on it. And then now all of a sudden I thought, man, Dana and I should be doing this, because then when we talk about ADD, we've got a whole section on ADD, or we've got a section on leadership or motivation.
GPT do that for us.
Probably. But the point is because ADD is such a visual thing, a lot of times we can't use electronic tools, because if it's out of sight, it's completely out of mind.
That's so true.
I've had to change to clear bins. When I have Beckett's and Dan's, they've got to be clear.
The same.
And the same thing with anything. I can't have stuff electronically. It makes sense, but it doesn't make sense to my brain. I have to visually know where to find it. That
is so true. I'm the exact same way with stuff. And I think that's why I still carry 8,000 notebooks and books and all this stuff in our month at a glance calendars. And because I have to like see it different.
Yeah. One of the things too, that's like super visual. And I realized I made these things up and didn't realize it. All my listings and my contracts were on big whiteboards in my office during my sales. Now I have the big A calendar that has my whole year.
Yep.
So I can see the whole year at one glance. So I think if you're not doing a lot of visuals and your ADD visuals it may feel antiquated because you've got so much electronic tools. I don't think electronic tools work that well for ADD people.
I think that the visuals help so much.
Yeah. So another one that I think works for me is having someone else to be accountable to. If it's which I was just watching a YouTube video on Andrew Huberman where he's talking about willpower, because willpower is a problem with people with ADD, right? Because we have to do things that motivate us. But Yeah, no, I lost it. So that's good ADB because he just went out the window. But what I'm saying is having someone else be with me if
The
it's a really big
accountability. Yeah.
the accountability makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Like honestly, I have not done my closet and I've needed to do like for years. I will not do it. I just keep piling more crap in it.
Yeah.
And the truth is, if I would have somebody meet me there, but here's why I'm afraid to do that. They're going to tell me to throw away things that I don't know that if I really want to throw away yet.
So
So
here's the thing. It definitely can't be Betty. You would have nothing left.
no, I'd have nothing left. So, and I can't. And also, I've thought about my boutique girl,
Yeah.
Muffin, but the problem is she will want to put stuff together, not necessarily a way I want to put it together. So it's this perpetual, constant loop that I go
Yeah.
through, and it never gets solved.
Yeah.
So I've got to figure out the solution, and I just don't take action on it. And so and when you're an ADD person and you have something you're not taking action on, it actually wears on you.
It eats at you. Yeah.
It eats at you.
It does so much. I am the exact same way, 100%. And it's funny you say that because mine lately has been, I have just been filling all these suitcases with clothes and then taking them to Kentucky. And then when we just went on our trip, Adam's like, "Where are all the suitcases?" I'm like, "Crap, they're in Kentucky filled with all these clothes," because they're like kind of too nice to just take to Goodwill. And I give a ton of stuff to Goodwill, but these are like the nicer clothes that are like too nice to give to Goodwill. And I would love to sell them, but the reality is like, I don't know how to do that.
Never going to do that.
Never going to do that. And so then I'm like, well, maybe Sarah will take them or somebody. And then, but every time I go there, I'm like, oh, these clothes are driving me insane. And it's very, very similar, but it's like it's little stuff like that. And then if you don't have the system, like it just drives you nuts.
Yeah. And I try to think about the saying, there's a saying out there that says you want to be the river, not the reservoir.
Or yeah. Uh-huh.
And I try to think about that, see if that helps me. And it actually hasn't yet. Because you have to let go of things for other things to come in your life.
So true.
I kind of believe that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of weird though. So I think having another person, sometimes I'll just have my assistant come over. It's something I need to work on and I'm not working on it. I'll say, "Hey Zoe, why don't you come over here and work on this with me?" And I think another thing that really helps ADD people is to talk things out.
Yeah.
Not so if I can talk it out with another person, I will solve it for myself, right?
Yeah.
I need to talk it out with another person.
Yeah.
And that's how I actually function best. It's how I process best. And it's how I take action best. So learning to say, okay, don't sit there and try to sit for hours and get it done. Bring another person in and talk it through with them.
Yeah, I think that's so good. And you know what I was just thinking of too? I have not done anything with this, but KW has a ADHD community now.
Oh, really?
Yes, and they've
know that.
spoken at a couple of the events like Family Reunion, Mega Camp, and they've had get-togethers, and I've heard really great things about them. So it is interesting, but I do think a lot of it is like really utilizing some of the tactics that you've shared and making yourself figure out ways to have more organization, because then your mind just doesn't go all over the place. And don't you think sometimes too, you just kind of touched on this, but it's people. Like I just think about some of the things that my mind is just never gonna do or I'm all over the place with, but thank the Lord Heather is great at that stuff. And so it's like some of it you can leverage, I feel like, and then you don't have to stress over it as much, overdoing it, or you're having it in your mind.
Well, my philosophy is if you're procrastinating on it, it's for somebody else to do.
Yeah.
It's because the one thing about ADD people is they will get the things done that they enjoy doing, that they like doing. They'll get it done. No problem.
Yeah.
But it's the other stuff. So I think that should be your clue is the minute you don't really want to get it done or whatever.
Yeah.
That probably means either somebody else has to be involved or somebody else gets that job.
Yep. So true. Yeah. Yep. Totally agree.
I think the other thing too is listening instead of reading.
Oh,
Some ADD people, they really need to listen to things, not try to read them.
Yeah. Well, or both. I mean, you hear a lot of people say they have to listen to the audio while they're visually looking at the book at the same time.
Yeah. And I went over some things recently, too, I think sticky notes and notes everywhere and bulletin boards and things like that are visual.
Yeah.
But I went over how to best memorize your talk, right? How do you do? And couple of things that I think works with an ADD person to learn anything is to, um, I think they call it the castle, to visualize,
Mm-hmm.
like tie whatever you're trying to learn to some kind of visual. And then I heard someone the other day say that they walked all the time while they were memorizing their talk. So moving helps you if you have to remember, say you're going to remember your presentation or you're going to remember the talk you're going to give. Moving while you go over it works.
Yep.
And something really weird, and I don't know if this is ADD or just the way I'm wired, I actually work on my talks in my sleep.
Oh, really?
It's so weird. Like if I've gone over it, I listen. Like I have this one talk called Made for More. I listen to it because I did it at Diana's More conference.
Yes.
I listen to it. I read the transcript of it. And then when I go to sleep, I come up with the best ideas.
Yeah.
Oh, I should add this there. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know where it comes from. But it just comes to me. So I always try to start, because most ADD people don't like to start too far in advance. We actually do better with shorter deadlines.
Yeah, that's me. Mm-hmm.
But I will try at least a week or so before to start going over it, because I know that's going to give my subconscious time to work on it at night while I'm sleeping.
That's so smart. That's so good.
Yeah. So moving helps you.
Although I wonder what your sleep scores are those nights.
You know what's funny? That's a really good question. Actually, I think it was really good.
Yeah, that's good.
It was like 85 or something.
Wow. Yeah, that's really good. That's super good.
So you feel like you're awake, because you're working on it, but you're really not.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
So a couple of tips on if you're trying to remember something: start saying your talk, even if it's not perfect,
Yep.
out loud. That helps, even if it's not perfect yet. Write your talk out by hand. So physically write it out.
Yeah, that helps me a ton.
Use a memory palace or visual hooks to remember the pieces.
Yep.
And the worst thing an ADD person can do is try to memorize it verbatim.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That's
never going to happen for me.
Never. No, me either.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, it's going to make things worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then move your feet or keep moving while you're trying to memorize it. And then practice with someone.
Yeah.
A friend or a coach. Do a dry run. I hate that part, honestly.
Yeah, I do too.
And I don't.
It does help though a ton.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah. And then maybe use flashcards or cue cards. One of my speaking coach said one time, the best thing you can do if you've got PowerPoints is have more, not less.
Yeah.
Let every PowerPoint be a cue.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what I like about doing that is it's also like helping me memorize it.
Yeah.
So that later I could probably do it without any PowerPoint.
Yeah, that's so true. Brand Builders in their keynote teaches that it's one slide per minute of your talk is to be good. And I always felt like 60 slides was like a lot. But really it's kind of keeps you like on track, and it jogs things for me. Like if I put a picture up, or whatever, and it really does. It is about one per minute.
Yeah. Well, and it's not 10 things on one slide. It's really one thing on the slide, and then just have a lot. I had like 76, a 38-minute talk.
Wow. Yeah.
So you used to think that was the opposite, but my speaking coach says, no, you want your slide to really be your trigger.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So that really has helped a lot. And now I feel like I could almost give it completely without any slides, because I've visually seen those slides so many times.
Yeah.
That I think in my mind I could just go over them and go, okay, this is how the talk flows.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Anything special that's working for you?
No, I think we kind of hit all of it. I think though too, and this is like not necessarily an ADD thing or ADHD thing, but it could go with it. I think when you're feeling like that, for me too, sometimes like my mind just needs a reset. Like I just need a rest, like if I get like really into that, like can't focus on anything mode, it's usually because I'm like overwhelmed with so many things. So I just need to take a break, like take a day, take a breather, take a half a day, whatever it is, go for a walk and just kind of like decompress some of those things, come back, make a list, get like reorganized, and then dive into it. And it really does help me every time, because I can just tell when I'm starting to get into that like spiral mode.
Well, you're sitting there and you're getting nothing done.
That's right. Yeah, totally. And actually this week on this like leadership Bible study thing that I'm doing with a lady here in Charleston for the month of June. It's really good, but it's like a night session and it's called Ignite Her Summer. But she said something that made me think so much. She said, what if as a leader, your thought process was going from output to overflow? And she said the difference is output is, hold on, I have it right here. It was so good. She said output is like effort driven leadership and overflow is like spirit fueled leadership where like it's just coming naturally from you. And output is like you're trying and you're trying and you're coming up with this and you're coming up with that. And she's like, when you do that constantly, you lead to burnout. But if you're leading from overflow, then it's like a different feeling. And I was like, man, that's so good. And I think sometimes when you feel like you're in that ADD, like can't get anything done, can't concentrate mode, for me, it's because I'm really trying to come from an output thing and I have too much going on instead of like, okay, let me just reset, take a break, try to come from overflow. And so when she said that, I was like, man, that's good, because she said the goal isn't to be like less in your life or less leadership. It's to be hydrated, meaning like you have everything that you need to do it and do it good and do it naturally without feeling like you're constantly in like a, overwhelmed state.
Well, I think that's a characteristic of an ADD person. They tend to do too much and have too much.
Yeah.
And much gets us bogged down.
Yep.
So I think what our natural tendency is to not do that. And we have to really constantly fight against not piling too many things on our plate, having too many papers, not having too many things.
Yep.
I mean, I can watch a million minimalist videos and love the concept and the idea. I just can't get there myself, right? And I don't know if I'd be super happy that way anyway.
Yeah.
But I do think it's a constant reminder that you're always going to fight if you have ADD, that you try to do too much.
Yeah.
Have too much, all those things. And for an ADD person, that just continually bogs us down.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I think the sooner you learn to leverage things off or have a place where you can put things that it's out of sight, so it's not, messing with your head, that it's just so, messy and, just congested.
Yeah. Well, she
honestly,
actually gave a really good question too at the end. And I think this could be good even for like ADD people in general, but she was talking to leaders, but she said that you should ask yourself, what's your go-to well when life feels dry? And it's not a positive thing. Like, is it anger? Is it, like mine were performance or avoidance? Like I start to feel like either I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go do it myself and like perform, or I like total go to avoidance mode. And I'm like, I'm just going to avoid the whole thing. She said like everybody has things that like are their go-tos when life feels like so overwhelmed. But she said that you need to know what those are so that the minute that you start to slip into those, you're like, whoa, wait a minute. Like I'm slipping into a place that I know, like I feel overwhelmed and this is my go-to, but it might not be the best place for me to be. And I was like, gosh, that's so good. Because anytime I am in that overwhelm mode, like I do kind of dip into one of those too. She said for some people it's like anger, for some people it's depression, like there's tons of different things. But or a lot of people on the Zooms was control. Like they try to go to control everything instantly. So it was just interesting to kind of hear that and then to pay attention to that.
Oh, that's true. That's like trying to find your triggers.
Yes.
Really good.
Yeah.
I was going to share, as we wrap up, because ADD is a superpower.
Yeah.
If you can channel it and learn how to use it. So I want to share with you something I have here. Superpower lies in their unique brain wiring. So the way our brain is wired, when channeled intentionally, it can lead to extraordinary creativity, problem solving, and performance under pressure.
Yep. So good.
So here's the superpowers of an ADD or an ADHD person. Hyperfocus. While attention may be scattered in boring tasks, when something is interesting or meaningful, an ADD brain can enter laser-like focus. In this state, time disappears, productivity skyrockets, and brilliant work gets done, often better and faster than others. Creative thinking. The ADD brain is a nonlinear and connects dots others don't see. It thrives in brainstorming. That's why you brainstorm.
Yep.
You don't call anything a meeting. You call it a brainstorm.
Yeah.
Brainstorming, innovation, storytelling, and solving complex problems in fresh ways. Many entrepreneurs, inventors, and artists have ADHD for this reason. High energy and enthusiasm. When motivated, people with ADD can bring contagious passion and energy. That's why we can sell ice to Eskimos.
Yep.
To a project, team, or mission. They're often idea machines and natural motivators.
That's so true.
Big picture vision. ADD minds often see the macro view quickly. They're strategic, intuitive, and can spot opportunities or flaws others miss. This is especially powerful in leadership, entrepreneurship, or visionary roles. Number 5, quick thinking and adaptability. In a fast-paced environment, ADD individuals often shine. They can pivot quickly, respond fast under stress, and make rapid decisions, great in a crisis or sales or creative fields. Empathy and sensitivity. Many with ADD are deep feelers. They read emotional cues, pick up on subtle signals, and care deeply. Oh, I always thought that was a characteristic I had because of alcoholic parents. They teach you to pay attention real fast, but I guess not. I guess it was my ADD.
It might be both.
Might be both. This makes them powerful in coaching, leadership, or mission-driven work.
Yep.
ADD is not a flaw. It's a difference. And I think if you have kids, you need to explain it to them that way, because the worst thing an ADD child can do is lose their confidence and their self-worth from it.
True.
So when managed and leveraged, it's like having a Ferrari brain with bicycle brakes. Build the right systems and it can take you farther, faster, and more creatively than you imagined. And I just think sometimes we need to realize what those superpowers are, and make sure we're using those, or we're putting ourselves in situations where those characteristics are highly rewarded.
Yeah, so true. I love that. It's a perfect thing to end on. So good.
Love it. So remember, if you have a question or a challenge or a topic that you want Dana and I to talk about on the podcast, or you have a guest that you think would be a great guest for us, be sure and reach out to us at info@everything life and real estate. And if you have not, please hit the subscribe button. And we'd love for you to give us a review. And the greatest thing you can do is pass this podcast along to anyone that you think would benefit from our conversations. And Dana, I guess I'll see you next week.
Be sure to subscribe for more business strategies and tactics to inspire you to live an abundant real estate life. Don't forget to rate and review so we can bring you the best content. Find this and other valuable information at everythinglifeandrealestate.com.